Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria Women Commission Lagos Zone has reaffirmed its commitment to supporting education by donating essential study materials to Mayegun Community Primary School in Etiosa, Lagos. The initiative is part of their corporate social responsibility and the 2024 Back to School project aimed at empowering children and contributing to their educational journey. Unionists spoke on why they chose to give back to schools.
When we are able to inspire them, motivate them to a better future, we believe it will help to rekindle positivity in their hearts. And this is why every year we chose a public primary school and we go there and donate. This is in partnership with the SUBEB of Lagos State. We have done it. This is the 5th year counting. We started from Lagos mainland, went to Ibejuleki, went to Koshofe, then Shomolu, and finally Etiosa. Next year, we'll go to other parts of Lagos to choose. Because Lagos don't cut across other states, we are also migrating to other states to also do this.
Last 2 years, we went to primary school. Then we went, it was really heavy. But because we know that there are children in that school who are waiting for us, we chose to do it in that arena, and they were very, very happy. Last year, we went to a shopping primary school. There were 5 schools in one compound. We gave more than 5,000 exercise books and other educational items. This year, we have come here with up to 4,000 exercise books. We have come here with sandals. We have come here with e-learning. We have come here with other e-tables. We have come here with table and chair. We have come to also appreciate all of us.
Pengazan lady, they do marvelously well for the purpose of Mayegun Primary School, in which we don't expect. It means that we have done the December, and we know that in December of this year is going to be good for every one of us in this Mayegun Primary School, because they have laid the good foundation for us, and we are still going to continue to follow it.
Through this annual initiative, Pengasan continues to make significant contributions to the education of children in Lagos public schools, fostering a sense of hope and opportunity for their future. The end of the 2024 edition of 16 Days of Activism set aside by the international community to fight gender-based violence and harassment. I met with Faith Ibiroba, not a real name, a working-class woman with a private organization based in Lagos. She shared her experience about how she was harassed in her workplace.
I needed some finances for my son. He got an admission into King's College, so I needed about 200,000 naira for my son to enter the school. And I went to my boss, and I knew that my boss was always looking at me somehow. But I didn't have any choice but than to go to him and said, if you can give me this money, I will pay overtime with my salary. It can even be taken from my salary. But my boss refused me and told me that I have to, meet up with him in a hotel if I can. If not, he will not give me the money. So I have to go home that day crying. I didn't know what to do. But as God will have it, the same week, my son got a scholarship. So I didn't need to go to him again.
Nigeria. Meeting by the chairperson of the Nigerian Labour Congress NLC in Lagos, stakeholders spoke about the need for workers to unite to end violence against women in the workplace.
So much of violence against our girls and even our adults. Enough is enough. We are uniting today to end this violence. Is this sexual violence? Economic violence, physical assault against our women. We don't want any man to kill any woman based on physical violence.
If you know something bad is happening around, say it out. And the OC gender in the state is quite backing us.
According to research, 1 in 3 women experience violence in their lifetime. Faith, who experienced workplace harassment, believes that women can speak up to get help. Former president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Comrade Ayuba Waba, has criticized the tax reform bills, warning that there would be severe consequences for workers, especially on the proposed annual increase in value-added tax. Ayuba Waba spoke at the inauguration of the newly elected State Council Chairman of the Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria.
In that document, presently, VAT is 7.5%. They want to increase VAT progressively year by year until it reaches 15%. Whereas many countries of the world that are in economic difficulties, where workers cannot be able to make ends meet, they are reducing VAT. One of them is Ghana here. Ghana reduced it to 3%. And all those that are proponents of the increase in VAT today, yesteryears, they were against any increase in VAT. Our economy is 70% informal. And therefore, people will now continue to make it informal because people will try to evade, even buying in all those supermarkets that will charge actually VAT, and it will even affect the economy. So basically, this is one factor I've seen in the argument that we need to progressively address, because it's going to affect workers, it's going to affect pensioners, it's going to affect everybody that is on wages, because cost of goods and services will be high.
The Secretary General of the Medical and Health Workers Union spoke about the need for newly elected officers to uphold the values of the union. Awards were given to veteran labor leaders who had served the union at various capacity. It is expected that the newly elected State Council officers will ensure that workers' rights are protected.
From the inception of this union, it has not been so. Medical and health is progressive, and we ensure medical and health first, others follow. We bring out things that other union emulates. So the inauguration today, like our president said, is not one of those political gatherings. It's a place where we gather both the incoming and the returning the chairman. As you can see from his address, he said it all. Medical and health is a disciplined union, and once you're coming there, just be in mind that you're coming to serve. Selfless service and imparting good things to the welfare. The welfare of the workers is paramount to this union, and everything any chairman, whether you are returning or you are coming for the first time, will bear in mind is that you are going there to be a great ambassador of this union.
I believe the inauguration today, other unions should emulate from what medical and health are doing. If you look at today's inauguration, the class of people on the high table will be able to tell you that medical and health remains number one, and we are number one. So I thank God for today, and I pray that subsequently things will still unfold. A lot of things will still unfold from the inauguration today. Because today we chairmen are happy. They've now given us the full authority that we are chairmen of various states. Otherwise, there's no way you will be operating like a cardboard chairman or chairperson. So today, we are now being authoritatively given power to go into the world and multiply.
To celebrate those chairmen and to tell them that integrity must be the watchword. That finances, in their finances, there must be judicial spending, and they must have the back mind of what they are going to, legacy they are going to leave behind, even when they have served that norm. Having the state secretariats, make it a robust form, ensure that the welfare of the workers in general and the states are the watchword, and ensure unity among the labor force.
On the Profile Interview segment this week, I'll be speaking with the president of the Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria, who also doubles as deputy president of the Nigerian Labour Congress. It tells me it's important for the federal government to declare a state of emergency in the healthcare sector. It's good to have you on the program, and congratulations on a successful outing. Recently, the leadership of the Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria inaugurated newly elected state council chairpersons. Can you bring us up to speed on why it's expedient for your leadership to publicly inaugurate those that won election at state level?
Thank you very much, Sharon, for having me. Let me first and foremost say, as part of the constitutional requirement of our great union, after the National Delegate Conference, we are supposed to reconstitute the state councils because their tenure will also expire after 4 years. So in order to fulfill that constitutional requirement, we agreed at our organ level that all the state councils should be reorganized in the month of September. And at the end of the day, we selected 11th of September 2024 to reconstitute all the state councils in the country. And this time around, we tried as much as possible to reconstitute these state councils in just 2 days across the country. We have 38 state councils, including Federal Area Council Lagos and the FCT Council. But due to some technical reasons, we could not be able to reconstitute Osun State Council, so we left Osun State Council under the supervision of the Zonal Secretary. So the 37 state councils, we were able to successfully held election in 36 state councils in the country. So the only 2 state councils we have issues, one in the north central part of the country and one in the northwestern part of the country. But after about 2 months, we were able to successfully conduct the 2 elections also in the 2 states. So making us to have 100% success for the State Delegate Conference. So when we sat down again, we said, let us initiate an issue this time around. We look at the outcome of the election, and we see that there are about 23 state councils that are newly elected chairmen that need orientation, that are coming to the state council for the first time. And they are coming at a challenging time when the new national minimum wage is going to be implemented at the state council. So we come up with this issue of the inauguration and presentation of certificate of return, which is the first of its kind in the history of this great union. So that is why on 11th of December 2024, which is exactly 3 months after the election, we converged together with all the new chairpersons here in Abuja, inaugurated them, charged them on the issue of accountability, transparency, and discipline in the discharge of their responsibilities. We equally charge them to always ensure the well-being and welfare of our members to be paramount. And so that is why we come up with this initiative, and I think so far so good. We successfully done the inauguration, and I want to see this opportunity to thank our August visitors, particularly the chairman of the occasion, under the chairmanship of Comrade Ayuba Piwaba MNI, the immediate first president of ITUC and NLC, and the special guest of honor, who is the NLC president, Comrade Joy Ajero, and a lot of presidents that attended the program. So I think this is the reason why. And in our own administrative, when we came in, we said we will be coming up with a lot of innovations that will improve the corporate image of the union while not neglecting the welfare and well-being of our members.
Brain drain seems to be a big issue in the healthcare sector in Nigeria and even across Africa. Can you tell us what can be done to curb this trend?
Not only our members, the issue of brain drain cut across all professions in the health sector. And if you look at it, you will hear that this complaint mostly even comes from the doctors because they suffer most. There is a standard statistic on the number of patients a doctor is supposed to see in a day. But if you look at Nigeria presently, you will pity all the health workers. And this issue is increasing day by day. Although the federal government is not reluctant on the issue, because we must appreciate the Federal Ministry of Health and the federal government under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for extending waiver to the Federal Ministry of Health and the health workers. And the reason for that is to curtail brain drain. And that waiver ensure that the Federal Ministry of Health can initiate and recruit health workers directly from the ministry. I think this is a very good initiative from the government side, but we caution that this issue should not be, or this waiver should not be misprioritized. All health workers should be carried along, because it's not only one profession that is suffering from that issue. So as a union and other professional associations in the health sector, we are working hand in hand with the Federal Ministry of Health to ensure that this issue of brain drain has come to an end. But if you look at the way health workers are playing out of this country, is really alarming. And what this entails is that the patient or the citizens at the end of the day will suffer. And at the same time, the health workers will equally suffer. So I think there is need for us to put all hands on deck to ensure that this issue of brain drain should be minimized. And by extension, if I can say, I will equally even call on the Federal Ministry of Health and the federal government to declare a state of emergency in the health sector. Although the Federal Ministry of Health is doing its best, because I have been seeing a lot of initiatives, a lot of programs initiated by the Federal Ministry of Health, but I think it's not enough. So we need to do something urgently before the issue of brain drain will consume our health services in the country.
There have been several reports of errors that have occurred in public hospitals in recent times. Can you tell us why we are experiencing this at this point in time? And is there anything that you think that can be done by the healthcare workers to ensure that these errors are reduced?
Well, I think this can be attached to the issue of brain drain, because health workers are also human beings. There is a limit that they can work. There is a limit of stress that they can endure. So obviously, if they are overstressed in their working place, you cannot expect anything more than human errors. And that one is normal. Even if you are in developed countries, you count that human errors. But it is minimal when the right thing is done. So I think it's in line with that all hands should be put on deck to ensure that this issue of brain drain was tackled off. And I'm sure when the right thing is done, this issue of human error will be minimized in our public health facilities.
The new national minimum wage implementation seems to be a big matter for the Nigerian Labour Congress and its affiliates. Can you tell us what more should workers be expecting as regards the consequential adjustments which naturally would arise from the increase in the new national minimum wage that has been signed into law by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
Well, so far so good, but the issue is that review of minimum wage is something that before it was implemented or before it was even agreed to become a law, is a challenging period. Once it was agreed to be a law, the implementation is also another challenging period. The consequential adjustment template is another challenging period. So we have passed so many stages. Now we are in the stage of implementation, especially at the state level. So let me first and foremost use this opportunity to commend the leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress for the initiatives this time around. I'm sure before the commencement of the consequential adjustment, the NLC leadership decided to come up with what it calls a training on the implementation of the new national minimum wage at the state level. There are two, it was divided into two, the northern part of the country and the southern part of the country. And these trainings were conducted. By implications, it means all the state chairmen of NLC and state chairmen of joint councils were prepared for the consequential adjustment. But at the state level, it's not only the two leaders that will do. Sometimes they need the support of the other affiliate unions. So that is why even during this negotiation, we use this opportunity to tackle our leadership of Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria at the state level to do everything possible to protect the interests of our members, to ensure that the effect of the consequential adjustment on the health workers' salary is felt by our workers, by our members, because our salary structure is different from the other salary structures. So obviously they should also go ahead to ensure that the implementation also favor our health workers so that they will not be shortchanged. So I think, as I said earlier, so far so good. Majority of the state councils have started implementation. Some have signed agreements to implement with effect from December this year, majority of them. And I'm quite sure the setting up of a committee, implementation committee at the national level under the leadership of the Deputy National President of the NLC, who is equally the NUT President, Comrade Titus Amba, to oversee all the state councils and especially those that have not started implementation, to ensure implementation is a welcome development. And it has yielded a positive result because after the ultimatum of 30th November this year that each state council that have not implemented, they should go on industrial action. I think that one has yielded a positive result because majority of the state government have signed an agreement with the leadership of their organized labor to commence implementation by December. So I want to urge the leadership of all the industrial unions under the leadership of NLC and TUC at the state level never relent until they see that the new national minimum wage kick the pockets of our members across the country. So they still have a lot to do. This is what I want to say on the implementation of the new national minimum wage. But as I said earlier, so far so good. A lot of state councils have started implementing, and even at the federal level, though we have a pocket of complaints, which I'm sure the respective organ, which is the Joint Public Service Negotiation Council, is doing its best to rectify those kind of complaints.
You're also the Deputy President of the Nigerian Labour Congress. How would you rate the Nigerian Labour sphere in the last 1 year? How did 2024 fare for Nigerian workers? And even though you said during the interview, even though your opinion is that workers should be the one to access labor, generally, how would you rate the Nigerian Labour Congress and also the Nigerian Labour space in the last 1 year?
I think that one I cannot rate myself. Maybe the workers at the grassroots level are supposed to rate us because I'm part of the leadership. So I cannot rate myself. So let the workers at the grassroots level that felt the impact or otherwise rate the leadership, which I'm included. The year 2024 comes up with a lot of challenges, as you are aware, as a citizen of this country, where workers are not exempted. We undergo a lot of challenges, especially arising from the removal of the fuel subsidy, which comes off in May this year. So we pray and hope that the new prosperous year 2025 will be a better year for all of us, including the workers of this country. And I know that arising from the last minimum wage negotiation, the new national minimum wage will be reviewed after 3 years. So I pray that even before the 3 years, things will change better for the workers of this country. And I want to use this opportunity to congratulate in advance all workers of this country, particularly the health workers under the aegis of Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria and Johesu. Happy Christmas and a prosperous New Year 2025.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And that's all we can take on today's edition of the program. Join us next week for a fresh edition of the show. I am Sharon Ijason. Thanks for watching, and remember that labor creates wealth.